time for movies on rock and roll football. It's Meet Me in the Foyer with Linda Marek and Jawa.
Meet me in the foyer.
Hello and welcome. Come in off the windy moors and meet me in the foyer once again, where this week we're giving lessons in killers, criminals and class-clashing couples. And taking the class this week is our number one educator, Linda Marek. How are you doing, Linda?
I'm very well. Actually, I lie. I'm not very well. I have the lurgy. I have the lurgy, but I'm getting there. I'm feeling I'm just drinking loads of water, taking some paracetamol.
Very good.
Yeah.
Look after yourself. Get an early night tonight.
Yeah, just very tired. But
well, we appreciate you, struggling on for us again and bringing us some exciting reviews. And what exciting reviews are you bringing?
This week I am bringing a review of the new Chris Hemsworth movie, Crime 101, and the new Wuthering adaptation.
Ooh, perfectly timed with the certain special weekend approaching at the end of the week. Indeed.
Let's see.
Lovely. Looking forward to those. And of course, I will bring you my classic movie to consider and the latest movie news. And let us begin by taking the register of the box office top 10. So settle down. Let us begin.
Meet me in the foyer.
It's box office top 10 time as it stands as we record. And at number 10, 28 years later, The Bone Temple in its fourth week on release. 7.4 million taken at the box office. And an excellent review by Linda can be found in one of our previous shows. I still think that'll bubble back up in the...
You think? I don't know. How is it doing in other territories?
Good question.
That would be, 'cause I've not really been watching the box office at all over the last couple of weeks, especially globally. But I'd be really interested. But I just think it's such a good movie. And if it's still showing near you, go and see it.
It appears to have taken 151 million worldwide.
Well, there you go.
With 80 million of that coming from the USA and Canada, which is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
No idea what the budget was, to be fair. That would be another interesting question. 63
million.
So it's made its money back and more. So yeah, not too bad at all. Above that, Iron Lung on its second week on release, the science fiction horror from Mark Fishback, based on the video game that I hadn't heard of, and the film that I haven't seen.
Me neither.
And above that, yet another one that I'm not even going to watch it when it goes on home release, let's be honest, but all are welcome here. It's Avatar Fire and Ash, that's now been out for 2 months and made £42 million in the UK alone.
Well, I mean, it's worth seeing, I think. I know they're not like the best movies story-wise, but they still are quite impressive, I'd say, like technologically. Not super inspiring. The stories are not that super inspiring, but why not, you know?
Absolutely. And a perfect film to watch if you're feeling a bit sleep deprived, I would say, but that's just me being mean. Above that, at number 7, Marty Supreme. It's been out for 7 weeks and has now made 15.5 million in the UK. And looking forward to seeing.
I think we've said everything we need to say about Marty Supreme, so let's just move on. Love it. Go see it if you haven't seen it. And Timothée Chalamet's brilliant. He's a fabulous actor, and good luck to him. I hope he wins everything ever.
Absolutely. Above that, more classic cinema from Jason Statham in Shelter 2 that's been out for 2 weeks now.
It's all right. Does what it says it does. It's going to do. It's not one of his American gangster movies, but it is a Jason Statham movie, and you know what to expect from them, and you won't be disappointed.
One of these days he's going to surprise us, and he's going to do Hamlet or something. But I await that day with great interest.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd pay good money to see that.
Above that, a film I have seen, Zootropolis 2, that's on its 11th week of release and has made 33 million, and highly recommended, good family fun. Very charming animation. At number 4, Hamnet, 5 weeks on release, 16.6 million. Another one that we've said so much about, and it will also stick around a while, I think, because the awards are but 4 weeks away now, I think, from the annual awards ceremonies kicking off. And number 3, another film that's been in the box office for nearly 2 months now. It's The Housemaid, that's made 30 million, starring Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried.
Seyfried?
That's how Graham Norton was saying it.
No.
I've always got a Seyfried.
Seyfried, your favourite. Who's Seyfried? Am I missing something?
I don't know. I will question Graham on his pronunciation.
Yeah.
He's led me astray there. And talking of going stray, at number 2, it's Stray Kids, The Dominant Experience. It's been out for a week. It's made 1 million, and if you don't know what it is, because I didn't, it's a concert show by a K-pop band filmed in LA. Okay. So I'm sure it will be here this week and go on next week.
Yeah.
And at number 1, it's Send Help.
I am next in line for VP. When Bradley takes over for his father tomorrow.
Your father promised her a promotion.
Did he? As an executive, I see no value in you. Does that make sense?
What?
We have the merger coming up. Prove me wrong. Bring her, and then we'll ship her out. Check this out.
I'm Linda Little. I want to be the next
Are there any others? Have you tried making a distress signal? Or a bigger fire?
Getting us out of here should be your focus, not being Susie Homemaker.
You do know you would have died out there.
Yeah, how do you think that would have worked out for you? Are you gonna hunt a boar? Linda from accounting?
Strategy and planning, actually. You ever hunt? I think I like it. How valuable to the company am I now? No help is coming. This is how things are now. Not in the office anymore. You are stuck with an asshole boss, just like I was. Don't ever mistake my kindness for weakness. I don't think we should ever leave here.
In its first week on release, it's made 1.5 million at the box office already. It stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. You can hear Linda's review on last week's show if you subscribe to our Patreon. And I watched it myself this weekend and had a thoroughly good time.
Yeah, well deserved. It should be at number 1. I kind of guessed it would be at number 1. It's just, I think it's his best film in years. It's Sam Raimi's best film in years. And I'm really glad that people are on board with that kind of sort of horror comedy. And I was slightly nervous that people wouldn't get what he was trying to do. But I see that people actually have really taken to it. I really like it. It's really good. Yeah. It's really funny, and it's like properly like vicious as well. So.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, very funny. Lots of good laughs. Lots of gross moments. Some good twists. And just a thoroughly good time. Doesn't outstay its welcome. And Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien are both brilliant. So what more could you want? And that's the box office top 10 for this week.
Meet me in the foyer.
So now we get to the meat, and it's time for our first review. And Linda is taking us to school, to crime school, in fact. But we're starting simple and have enrolled in Crime 101. A slightly unfortunate title, as in this country, 101 isn't an education term, but the number used to call the police for a non-emergency inquiry, which isn't perhaps quite the exciting and inspiring thriller title Bart Layton was hoping for when he made his new film. But regardless, class is in session, and here comes teacher. Good morning, Miss Marek.
Take a deep breath in
What do you see? What do you feel? Feel this moment.
I wouldn't die for an insurance company. Get in, but there's water in the trunk.
Could have been certain, could have been a G. Could have never snitched, right? Took it to police.
He hits jewels, cash, and high-value items. He knows exactly what to transport and when. There's no DNA. He's in and out in seconds.
Your guy's untraceable.
I need that.
And I came here to make you a business proposition. Worked at the same company for 11 years. You're a VP when you should be a partner. Those high-value items your company insures, I make them disappear.
Start by handing me your phone.
So you're a thief.
Guys you work for, you think they're squeaky clean?
I need to start considering myself and maybe my clients.
Don't threaten me.
Life's too short to drive boring cars, right?
If you see her with me, she's taken.
What's the security setup?
There's a courier carrying watches and gems, looking at $11 million in one room, of which I want 3.
Let him rob the courier, and then you'll rob him.
I need that.
My dad always said you gotta break a few eggs.
I see you again, you're dead.
Every series of actions creates a pattern.
It's not about the money.
What is it about?
I'm getting close. I know it. Hello, James.
I need that.
I knew almost nothing about this until like maybe just like a week and a half ago, just a couple of weeks ago, and where I sort of decided to have a look who was made by and who was written by. And I'm happy to report that it's written by Bart Layton, who most people would know for his documentary stuff. He's like known for things like Banged Up Abroad, you know, these sort of long running documentary series that's actually been going, went from 2006 to 2022, and extremely popular series. And then he also made a documentary called The Imposter about this. Actually, go and look it up, because I don't really want to go into what his other films are about. What I will say though, his first real feature, like a proper sort of like story feature rather than a documentary, is American Animals, which I thought was an absolutely brilliant movie. It came out in 2018. And then he just disappeared and did absolutely nothing. So he's been away for like 8 years. And in the last 8 years, you'd think he died because someone of his caliber, I mean, he continued making this Banged Up Abroad stuff, but I thought after American Animals he would actually lean towards sort of fiction and make more movies like American Animals, which I think is again, another story based on a true story. Crime 101 is his latest, and it stars, for starters, Chris Hemsworth. It's also produced by Chris Hemsworth, and is also an adaptation from a Don Winslow novel. And I wasn't really like expecting it to be anything. I just thought it's one of those movies that you release at the beginning of the year. It's been released in the States by Amazon, in the UK by Sony, and it's, I felt like it was sort of one of those movies that you release at the beginning of the year and just forget about. That's not the case at all. I was so impressed by this. Like, let me tell you who's in it, for starters. Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, Monica Barbaro, Corey Hawkins, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Criminally underused Jennifer Jason Leigh. She's in it, literally, blink and you'll miss her. Nick Nolte in a fantastic role. And I left the best till last, who is Halle Berry. Halle Berry absolutely like obliterates everyone on this cast list. She is so brilliant. She's the best I have seen her be in anything. And I absolutely loved this movie. So the story is a jewel thief, Mike Davis, played by Chris Hemsworth. He's been organizing these heists, and he's meticulous about not being caught. He's basically has before he even starts doing any of the robbing, he has to like make sure his hair is cut to the right length so that none of his DNA stays anywhere. He's always on time. He knows exactly who he's stealing from and what he's likely to be getting from them. We don't know to start with how he knows all this stuff, but he's just absolutely brilliant at, he's almost a savant when it comes to organizing these heists. And Mark Ruffalo's character, Lou Benedict, who is a police. He's kind of like a bit of how shall I put it? Let's try and put it nicely. Do you remember how I said dowdy last week about the character of oh God, what's her name?
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. Let's just say this one he's a schlubby bloke, but like Mark Ruffalo generally looks like a schlubby bloke anyway when he's not playing Dr. Banner. He's like he's like your typical sort of fed up police officer, police detective who is sick of just ticking lists and like his whole life is centered around getting the list of crimes down rather than solving them, like getting the sort of the cases down rather than solving them. He is very clever as well. He almost sees himself in this Mike Davis character. He knows him. He's read him. He's studied him. He knows what the guy is about, and he starts to notice that it's the way he does things is very peculiar. And the point of him is that he doesn't use any violence. He's always careful not to leave any trace, always careful not to leave any DNA until one particular heist that goes slightly wrong, not completely wrong, but it goes slightly wrong. And from there, we understand where the story is going. When it comes to Halle Berry, she plays this kind of insurance broker who has been working at this company, a big, like a huge sort of insurance company for the last 11 years. And she feels like she is slowly being replaced by a younger version of herself, this young woman who they are sort of building up to replace her by sort of giving her all of the right signals. And the Halle Berry character, Sharon Colvin, she's kind of getting really fed up of the way she's being treated. She was promised she was promised a post as a partner in the firm, and starts to realize they're never going to give her that. And then what happens is that to Mike, the thief, proposes a deal to Sharon, and almost a deal that she can't refuse. And then we go from there anyway. And I also must say that Nick Nolte is brilliant as this kind of mysterious character called Money, and who is some sort of mob boss, a ruthless mob boss who's been training Mike to steal for him. And they've had this kind of like thing going for a while, but Mike is getting slightly fed up because he feels like he's nearly getting caught and he doesn't want to get caught. Enter the character of Barry Keoghan, who is Orman, and he's the complete opposite of Mike. Absolutely, like he's a mess. And wherever he goes, he he gets recognized, he gets seen. He's not a ghost like Mike, because he is just a petty criminal. He's a petty thief
Mm.
who has been given this kind of job to do, and he doesn't know. And he's like, he has no qualms about going in and beating people up, taking everything and being noticed by everyone around him. I'm going to leave it there because the story is just such a fantastic story. So it feels like so feels like someone is telling you a story. It's very slow burn, and it almost reminded me of another movie that Mark Ruffalo is in, and that is Zodiac.
Oh,
I
no.
love Zodiac.
Mm.
It's probably I wish actually I had put it. I gave you a list of like some of my favorite movies of all time last week,
Mhm.
and I forgot to put Zodiac in it, the Fincher movie. And I know some people thought Zodiac was quite a long movie, but I really love those kind of like procedural, almost like slow burn um, police, like detective movies that you get to find out alongside, like the audience gets to find out alongside the film who what the story is about,
Mm.
who are all these characters, and how are they connected to each other. It's a typical like show don't tell. And I really, really love that. It doesn't feed you anything. And you could really tell that Bart Layton is a documentarian because of the way he takes his time with telling his story. I'm just absolutely baffled that this wasn't given more of like a, a bigger release, to be
Mm.
honest. But I still think, like, I can't remember what time of the year did Black Bag come out last year? Do you
Oh,
remember
it's quite late in the year, wasn't it?
Oh, was
Sort of,
it quite
I,
late or was it
I, oh,
early?
oh,
I feel like it was early in the year, and this is almost like that. I just thought it was so beautifully shot. It was just, and it's granted, it is a detective movie, it is a crime movie. However, it's a crime movie with a heart. There's so much to it. It's set in California, by the sea, not in properly LA. Like as you drive around California, you're shown all these uh, homeless people sort of camping and outside these really rich areas of LA of California. Um, it has a thing about it that feel makes you feel like you're in there, and it
mm.
makes you feel like you are part of this story. I don't know how to describe this, and as I left, I actually didn't realize whose film I was watching. And I got home and I looked and I was, oh, that makes complete sense now because it is a documentarian making this movie and he's made it into something almost like he's observing how people interact with each other. It's just so good. I'm flabbergasted by how good this is. I mean, there are some really fabulous good, like, performances here. Monica Barbaro as the love interest, Maya, fabulous. She's so good. Yeah, go and see it. I know there's quite a bit coming out this week, and next week is also half term. So if people are looking to go to the cinema more than once this weekend or next week, go and see this and go and see whatever else you've missed over the last month or so. I just think this is so well done. I am just so unbelievably impressed by it. And yeah, another, I don't know how well it's going to do because obviously it's coming out against some rather big movies this week.
Mm.
But I think this is so well done. Again, Halle Berry is just incredible in this.
Fabulous. What a delight. That is very unexpected because, yeah, I mean, looking at the adverts and the poster, yeah, the poster was up when I went into the cinema on Saturday. It just gives you that whiff of the sort of like Mercy, the Chris Pratt film that
Oh
is
no, not at all.
just some sort of straight to DVD almost thing that's coming out, and but no, that's
Look,
wonderful.
when you take a look at who's in the movie, these people are not going to sign their names next to something that is going to be awful. You know what I mean? They're like Mark Ruffalo is a very intelligent actor who picks his films very carefully. And again, with Hemsworth, I know Hemsworth has been also like touted as this new kind of action man with all the Russo brothers stuff that he's been doing for Netflix. But I'd rather watch him in this kind of stuff anytime. You know, he's a very complex character. I know I haven't spoken about him too much because I never really I like him as an actor. I never really thought of him as a particularly brilliant actor. I think he's good at what he does and he's good at the Marvel stuff he's in. I think this is the first time I bought him as a complex character, and I like, you know. He's a Hemsworth. What can I tell you? He's very good looking, and he's he's a quiet type. I just wanted to know more about that character, and I really bought everyone in it. And Ruffalo is excellent in this. As I say, it's very slow going, but at the same time, I feel like it's not slow. I feel like it's more, slow burn, and it kind of like entice you into wanting to find out what all these people are about. I loved it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, you never know, do you? Because even great actors do films just to get paid sometimes, and that's fine. They'll all have ones on their CV. You think, yeah, I won't watch that again. But this sounds fabulous.
No, it's really good.
Sounds like one of those films that a friend recommends to you, and you see it and go, how did I not see this when it came out? It reminded me a little bit when you were talking of the film No Sudden Move.
Yeah.
Del Toro film, which is
Yeah.
fabulous, which is
Really
one I
good
missed.
to be. Yeah.
Also had
It's
a
very
slight-
much like that.
Oh, okay, great. And it had a slight whiff of the Thomas Crown affair about it as
Yeah.
well.
Actually, there is a mention of the Thomas Crown affair
Is
in the
there?
movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think he is a fan. I think the director is a fan. Also, no, don't forget, this is Dan Winslow, like who's really, really good at writing these kind of things. He's like a number one of a best-selling crime novelist. So there is a mixture of people in here that have made this movie that could have easily been a nothing burger, but they've managed to like really make it into a good movie because of the caliber of writing, the absolutely fantastic direction, and the cast that is incredible. Yeah.
Fantastic. I think I might book myself a ticket now. And I'm totally on board with you on Zodiac. I nearly put it on my list as well. I absolutely love that film. I think it's such a brilliant film.
I love that movie.
Rewatch that endlessly. But well, what a fantastic start. That sounds like one to definitely catch at the cinema. And I think I will be doing that for sure. Thank you very much, Linda.
Okay.
Right, so what next? It's movie news time.
Meet me in the foyer.
So what's in the news this week? Well, a lot of trailers as it's that time of year, and America has just had its Super Bowl when the industry pays big bucks to get their trailers shown during the broadcast. But first, we have a trailer not shown during the Super Bowl. That is Exit 8, a Japanese horror film from Neon, who brought us Keeper, Longlegs, Cuckoo, and Presents, some of which you can find reviewed by Linda on our Patreon. This time, producer, writer, director Kawamura Genki brings us a horror set in a simulation of the Japanese metro network. Exit 8 has a release date of April 10th and will surely be causing nightmares over here not long after that.
毎日ぎゅうぎゅう詰めの電車乗って会社行って同じこと繰り返してそっちの方が地獄みたいでそっちの方が地獄みたいでそっちの方が地獄みたいでそっちの方が地獄
すいません8番出口ってどこですかご案内異変を見つけたらすぐに引き返すこといえ家が見つからなかったら引き返さないこと増えた異変を見逃さないこと
しいことあったりして。悪いことしたから出られないとかですかね。
I think this might have premiered at Fright Fest.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think I do remember people going on about it at Fright Fest. I've heard really good things about it.
Excellent.
Mm.
In other upcoming films, Apple have released news of their 2026 schedule, featuring such films as Jonah Hill's new film coming in April. That's Outcome, his follow-up to Mid-90s, a film we discussed last year on our former show.
Love that movie.
That's such a great film, isn't it? Yeah, and a brilliant soundtrack, as you recommended. In July, we have the Ben Stiller produced The Dink, a film about the sport pickleball.
I like pickleball.
I don't even know what it is.
It's a racket game. It's a bit like
Oh, okay.
tennis.
Fair enough. Then September brings us the Dungeons and Dragons duo Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly. Their latest work starring Ryan Reynolds, which is the spy thriller comedy Mayday. And in October, or October 9th to be precise, it's another toy tie-in movie as Matchbox screeches into cinemas. So yeah, lots of potential there, and we'll see how they work out. And I'm sure Linda will be reviewing many of them as we travel through the year. So the first of our Super Bowl trailers is the Star Wars spin-off The Mandalorian and Grogu, due out 22nd of May.
Sometimes we choose our path. Other times the path chooses us. Through it all, we keep pushing forward, driven by a deeper purpose, guided by an unseen force. The journey never gets any easier. The bond just gets harder to break. This is the way.
Only in theaters and IMAX May 22nd.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I also need to finish. I don't think I watched the latest season of The Mandalorian. I just, it was at a point where I had decided to get rid of my Disney Plus because I was getting rid of all of my streaming, thing, my streaming things, and I decided that I was going to get rid of it. So I got rid of Disney Plus first, and I think I only had Netflix left because it was quite useful to me, Netflix. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Mandalorian. I love
I've never watched a Star Wars TV series, I have to say.
Oh, so good. It's really good. Yeah.
Maybe I'll go for another marathon and give it another. I keep giving Star Wars a go every few years, and it just never grabs me. Never
I
grabs me.
love Star Wars. I do not love every Star Wars movie, but I do love Star Wars. The original Star Wars movies are just some of my favorite movies of all time. I also really like some of the new ones, you
Mm,
know.
Well, I mean, I think we've discussed before, haven't we, that we think the best one might be one of the new ones, Rogue One. That
Rogue
was
One, yeah. I
absolutely
quite like Solo
spectacular.
as well.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that one
I know
didn't do
many
it for
people
me so much.
didn't,
Yeah.
but I really liked Solo. But also,
Yeah.
I like the J.J. Abrams one. Look, as a in a whole, I really like that world, and I would happily watch them non-stop. And I love them those movies.
Fair enough. I'm sure there'll be more coming over the next few years as well. Last year, it was announced that a remake of the harrowing 1984 nuclear drama Threads is in the works. However, a statement from Warp production company CCO Emily Feller that the remake will highlight how resilience and connection can offer hope has apparently sent alarm bells ringing for the original director Mike Jackson. He balks at the phrase, as resilience of the human spirit is for him a concept from drama and entertainment and not part of a realistic depiction of nuclear war. So we'll see how that works out later this year. Our second Super Bowl trailer is for the new Ryan Gosling movie Project Hail Mary, hitting cinemas on the 20th of March.
I understand that you think I'm the right person for this mission. I understand the stakes.
Object approaching.
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct, including us. Dr. Grace, the world is counting on you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. We're here for the same reason. His son is dying too. If we're gonna save our planets, we have to learn how to communicate. Check this out. We have about 250 words. Let's find you a voice.
Why is a school teacher in space?
Nope.
Why is a school teacher in space?
Try this.
I am Rocky. I like.
So I have a new roommate now.
Hi, Grace.
Together, we're pretty smart. But no one's ever done this before.
It is time go.
I think you're being go time, pal.
There are infinite possibilities for this to go wrong.
This ship wasn't built for this.
Now!
If Grace Rocky saves stars, we can go home.
I think this is a one-way trip for me.
I will not let Grace die.
Looking forward to that one myself.
I'm reading the book at the moment.
Ooh.
Project Hail Mary. It's very good. I mean, it's like, it's good if you like that kind of thing. If you like, I mean, it's written by the same guy who wrote The Martian. If you like The Martian, you like this.
Oh, I love The Martian. Fantastic. That sounds even better now. A lot of the news this week is focused on the upcoming Masters of the Universe reboot, coming 39 years after the Dolph Lundgren, Frank Langella, and Courtney Cox starring Dud. He-Man returns to the silver screen on the 5th of June, starring Nicholas Galitzine, Jared Leto, Idris Elba, and Alison Brie.
Not Jared Leto. Why do
Again.
they keep making him be in movies?
And he's doing his villain turn again because he's
For
playing
the love of
Skeletor.
God,
Yeah.
enough.
I mean, I remember watching that original when I was at a kids' party back in the 80s,
Oh,
and it was rubbish. Absolute rubbish. So, will the remake be any better?
I
Well,
like
by the power of
He-Man.
Grayskull, it might. Apparently, this version is going to embrace the silliness of the cartoons,
Oh,
which
good.
might means it leaves the pomposity that made the 80s version unbearably ridiculous behind. But who knows? We shall see. Our third Super Bowl trailer this time is for the upcoming Spielberg sci-fi epic Disclosure Day, which lands in cinemas on the 12th of June.
We're interrupting our coverage. There has been a threat to publicly release government material long shrouded in secrecy.
Are they people?
No.
Do you think there could be others?
People have a right to know the truth.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world, all at once.
If you do this, there's no undoing it.
There will be no other day like tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Mm.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, it
I
feels like
can't tell you how excited I am.
years since we've had a Spielberg film to look forward to.
Oh.
I mean, it can't have been, can it?
Well, we haven't had. What was the last Spielberg movie we had? It can't have been The Fabelmans. No,
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was, wasn't it?
it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You serious?
Yeah, that was
Wow.
his last sort of, non-documentary film. I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so it's been 4 years since we've last had a Spielberg film, and
That doesn't seem right, does it?
no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen West Side Story. So for me, before
Love
that,
that
it was
movie.
Ready Player One, which
You're right. Look, The Fabelmans was the last one.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to Disclosure Day. You have no idea.
Yeah,
It's
fabulous
just,
cast.
oh my God. It's it's as if it was made for me.
Exactly. It's funny because I didn't see Close Encounters till very late in my life, and I was like, "Meh, it's all right." And then it just kept popping into my head, so I rewatched it, and it's one of the greatest films ever made. So
Yeah.
Spielberg doing sci-fi, let's have it. Looking
Yeah.
forward to this big time.
That's the best. I mean, he's just the best. I mean, if you watch The Fabelmans, you understand what he's all about when it comes to filmmaking. He's someone who just absolutely loves cinema, and he is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time because he has invented so many different ways of making movies, and he's created the style, of making movies that will stick with us. There was a time in the sort of like late 90s, early 2000s where people were doubting his ability, and just after Schindler's List, and I just felt like you have no idea what you're talking about, because this is the man who gave us like modern cinema, like modern sort of teenage cinema that is admired by young people, and all these young people have grown up with him. So I love Spielberg. I think he's just the greatest. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, he's made my favorite film of all time, Jaws. He's given us Indiana Jones, and
E.T.
as I've said week on week, if it's an 80s or 90s film that he hasn't directed, he's probably produced it. So he's the man. He's absolutely the man. In other news, Ready or Not 2 creators Matt Bettinelli Olphin and Terry Gillett are claiming their impending sequel, due out at the end of March, will expand the universe like John Wick 2 or Terminator 2, which is quite the claim. And we'll see what we think when it comes out. And our last trailer this week is for the upcoming sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood called The Adventures of Cliff Booth.
So you helped Rick subdue those hippie intruders, huh?
Something like that.
You say that like there's more to it.
I don't possess many talents, but I know better than getting away with a good story. Think you're real funny, huh? I'm a little funny.
Written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by David Fincher, and starring Brad Pitt and Timothy Oliphant, reprising their roles from the original.
Really, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I don't know what to feel about it. It's so unexpected, and the fact that Fincher's directing it is so
it's weird,
odd, isn't it? Yeah,
it's weird. I'm feeling better about it being directed by Fincher. You know, I feel I think I would have felt a bit sort of like a little bit of self-indulgence if it was Tarantino, but it looks good. I'm just so looking forward to that.
And he doesn't. I mean, his style is nothing like Tarantino's style, so it's going to be really, really interesting to see how they sit together. But it's fascinating stuff. So that's the news for this week.
Meet me in the foyer.
Right. So we return to Linda out on the wily, windy moors. We'd roll and falling green. You had a temper like my jealousy. Too hot, too greedy. How could you leave me when I needed to possess you? I hated you. I loved you too. Bad dreams in the night. They told me I was going to lose the fight. Leave behind my wuthering heights. Heathcliff, it's me. I'm Kathy. I've come home. I'm so cold. Let me in your window. What does this all mean? Well, it means there's a new adaptation of Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights hitting cinemas this weekend, which has got me wondering if it's any good. So let's go over to our critic Linda, who has been wandering to her local cinema to curtail her own wondering. What heights will Emerald Fennell's Wuthering reach?
What should you do, Heathcliff? If you were rich?
Suppose I'd do what all rich men do. Live in a big house. And be cruel to my servants. Take a wife.
A wife? What wife?
Heathcliff, you're not enough. Not for her.
Mr. Linton asked me to marry him.
Heathcliff is gone. You must accept it.
Why did you leave me?
Why did you betray your own heart?
Where is the obstacle?
Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same.
I will not stand for that fiend. I will not have you near her.
Did you think it would stop me? Let us both be damned.
Linda?
Are you a fan of Emily Bronte's book, Wuthering Heights? And have you seen any other adaptations of it?
As the uncouth young man you know, I've not read the book and I've not seen any adaptations of Wuthering.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I'm a big fan of the book original. It's a famously quite dense book, novel that many people actually never finish because they just find it a bit too sort of goes on a bit too much. You got to understand when this was released, when the book itself, when the novel itself was written, it was at the moment where during the Romantics, like a Byron stuff, and everything felt, like every story had to be like told from the heart and told like in this kind of really sort of heartbreaking things will happen. When like the other Bronte sisters writing sort of Jane Eyre and Emily. This is Emily's only book. It's her the only book she's ever released, and she's it was under the pen name Ellis Bell, and it was thought of as being quite scandalous in its time because it's like a really sort of pure love story obsession. Like I don't know if you know the storyline, but so let's start by saying that this is in no way a straightforward adaptation of Emily Bronte's novel. So anyone expecting a faithful heritage drama and of this book that was released in 1847, you are unfortunately going to be extremely disappointed. And then I see that some people have fallen into that kind of trap of attempting to compare the book and the film. We all know who Emerald Fennell is, and I know there are some critics who absolutely cannot stand her or her films. I mean, there is a reverse snobbery about Emerald Fennell. Emerald Fennell comes from quite a well-off family. Her father is quite famously a really like a well-known jewelry designer. So she was brought up in this kind of wealth. Her sister is a fashion designer. And she went to public school. When I say public school, if you are listening from America, what we call public schools is our private schools. I know it's very confusing, but it's an old-fashioned way of saying a private school. So there are loads of people, like when we heard that, there was a lot of like raised eyebrows when we heard that Emerald Fennell was doing this adaptation. It was even more eyebrows raised when we knew that Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi were going to be starring in these two young actors who come from Australia, the land of sunshine and brightness, and like sort of $1,000 smile, and just absolutely stunning. This is a story that is set in the Yorkshire Moors, and it tells it's a gothic story almost. It's about like obsessive behavior, this kind of like a cruelty. And so it was a bit sort of, eye-rolly when you heard who was being cast in this. However, if you know anything about Emerald Fennell, I really like her. I am a fan of her movies. I think what she manages to do is take a story and give it a stamp. It's not something that every filmmaker is able to do nowadays. Loads of people are restricted by budget, restricted by studios in what they can express themselves. I think you can actually call her an auteur because she manages to really stamp her brand onto anything she makes. And somehow some people really do not like this, and I understand that if you're someone who is like a Bronte devotee, or someone who really loves the writing in Wuthering Heights, that you are going to take against this movie, whether before even setting an eye on it. I completely disagree. I choose to see films adaptations as you are allowed to do whatever you want with the film, with your adaptation, as long as it's a good story, as long as the movie looks good, as long as I am convinced by the characters, and as long as the acting is good. And we have all of those things here. I think I won't bore you with the setup, but so the story is, it's about Margot Robbie, who plays Catherine. Margot Robbie's character, Catherine, Kathy Earnshaw, and Jacob Elordi plays Heathcliff. The story is presented less because the original is like more of like a tragic lover, star-crossed lover story, and things that keeps them apart. Here, there is an intensity, almost like a sense, almost like BDSM sort of relationship between these two characters, that feels very sort of volatile, very unsettling, and more importantly, extremely electric, because the attraction between their two characters is just incredible. And it takes this kind of, I mean, he plays this young boy who is brought in to Kathy's home by her dad, played by Martin Clues, who is excellent in this. And he's like a drinker. Her dad has gambled the family's fortune. They're a well-to-do sort of upper middle class family, but all of their money has been, gambled or drank or sort of given away. But at the heart of it, I mean, her dad really is a nice guy, and he brings this young boy who is given to him as a ward at some point in a pub. We don't really know the origin of this young boy. I mean, some people have interpreted it as Heathcliff being his son, like half brother to Kathy. But we don't know. I mean, even in the novel, it doesn't explicitly tell us about it. What we do know is that he is he is an illegitimate child from a woman who isn't from England, so he's slightly darker. And I think it works. I know I've like been aware of the stories around Heathcliff should have been played by a person of color. Jacob Elordi is part Italian, or I think he is Australian Italian, and I think at that time, even if you were Italian, you were slightly darker, therefore not English, and that could have been your origin story, or he could have been in a someone or a gypsy, born from a gypsy woman. So I'm not going to get into the whole politics of the casting here, and I know some people have written about it and talked about it ad nauseum. It's the kind of thing that interests me usually. I think it's actually not important in this case, because I don't think Emily Bronte wrote him as a person of color. She wrote him more as a kind of like an outsider, rather than saying. And I'm someone who has read Wuthering Heights, so and I know if some people have not read Wuthering Heights, I will happily invite them to go and read it and tell me where in the book it says that he is a person of color. Never mind. I just think this is so well done by her. It's not your classic sort of costume drama. It's not. It's very stylized. It's very gothic in a way that we haven't seen before. It's like I love that Wuthering Heights, the place, is the way it's filmed, the way it's presented. It's almost like cardboardy, almost like you are living in sort of a made-up world. And I think no other filmmaker would have had the sort of the strength or like the audacity to make it look that way. As I say, it's really some would say style over substance. I don't think so. I think there is style and substance here. I think it's so well done. I like how raised an eyebrow, as I said, when Margot Robbie was cast, and even more when Jacob Elordi. Actually, I hadn't seen Jacob Elordi in much before that, apart from her other movie from a couple of years ago. You're going to remind me what it's called because my brain
Oh, what, Saltburn?
Saltburn. So yeah, I hadn't really seen Jacob Elordi apart from in Saltburn and a few bits and pieces here and there, but I think he's become a much better actor. He is incredible in this. There's the ending is heartbreaking, and I was at this screen watching it, and there was a girl sat next to me who I didn't know, who was just bawling her eyes out by the end of it. I don't think I don't remember the last time I cried at the cinema, but I was really touched by this. I think it does exactly what it's needed from it. It's a really modern adaptation. There's lots of anachronistic stuff going on with with the needle drop, with the drops in the music, but at the same time, it doesn't like it is exactly what it set out to do. It's funny as well. It's very cleverly sort of the tone of it, it's so cleverly done. I was really impressed by this and I really loved it. I wish I had given it 5 stars out of 5. I have reviewed it for and like a print review, and I genuinely wish I had given it 5 out of 5 because I was not bored for 1 second. It's quite a long movie as well. Yeah, another brilliant win for Emerald Fennell, and it's dividing some critics at the moment, but as a whole, I don't think her fans will care. I think her fans will just go and see the movie and enjoy it for what it is. It is the relationship between Kathy and Heathcliff is at the center of this, and it's so brilliantly done. And what more do you want? For Valentine's Day, go and see it. Take a date and go and see this.
Wonderful. I mean, as I say, I'm not versed in the story or previous adaptations. It's But Fennell, you're so right. It hadn't occurred to me until you said it. She clearly is an auteur director, isn't she? She has such a distinct style and sort of a real grip on her craft and her art. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, I think Promising Young Woman is a fabulous film, and absolutely hated Saltburn.
Oh, I like
I
that.
found it boring, and then sort of descended into sort of slightly infantile shock tactics. But the style is still there.
I know, what annoys me is that we all were forever sort of uh, like thirsty for female auteurs
Mm,
and successful female auteurs because her films do really well. They are very
absolutely, yeah.
popular and they make their money back, which is like it's quite impressive.
Mm.
We are thirsty for female authors. And then when we get someone like Emerald Fennell, everyone is out to sort of poo-poo their stuff. And that really annoys me because like or leave it. She is an author and she knows how to present a movie that is likely to sort of stir a bit of like aggro, like people like she hasn't people are talking about the movie,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
regardless. So free publicity is better than no publicity.
Mm.
And I'm
There's,
impressed by her filmmaking. I'm really impressed by her.
there's something almost Hitchcockian about her ability to manipulate audiences that way, isn't it? And very
Yeah.
clever. And I mean, from the trailer, it struck me the two thoughts that I came away from it with were it looks like almost a sequence of music videos. It's so stylized. It's incredible. It's
Yeah.
very impressive. And I get the feeling that it, it'll, it, it'll be, some people will hate it, and other people it'll be their absolute favorite adaptation of the film, and it'll stay with them for life. Thinking about it now, thinking about the visuals, it's almost got a sort of Powell and Pressburger feel to it as well.
Yeah. It's almost like these kind of really grotesque characters, and I really love the Martin Clunes character. We first meet him, and he's all this kind of jolly old drunk and stuff, and who sometimes turns a bit violent. And by the end of it, he's become this kind of like almost like a creature, like addled by the addiction to drink and addiction to gambling, and he's like, his teeth are rotten, his body is rotten, and there is a one particular scene at the end just before when he dies, and the representation of the person he was is like he's in the middle, and there's this shot in Wuthering Heights of two pyramids. Do you remember like the bone temple kind of pyramids of heads? Two pyramids of empty bottles of booze. That made me laugh so much. It's a bit too on the nose, but it's funny, It's I really like that kind of filmmaking, and it's cleverer than people think it is, It's really tickled me.
Fantastic. And as we're talking, I'm thinking it I'll have to see it, but it's making me think of the Powell and Pressburger film After the Fox, which is that same sort of dramatic, romantic love story with incredible visuals and fantastic.
Like really good. I really like it. Margot Robbie's brilliant. I don't care what anyone says. She's, there's people like even I was saying, like, is it going to come across? But like, it's a gothic movie, and there is a gothic. There's a gothic air to it. It's very color-wise. It's very sort of, I don't know, like very modern. It's representation of gothic imagery, but it's so well done. You don't really notice.
It's interesting. It's almost, I wonder if it's praiseworthy as well, because there were a lot of complaints when it was announced that she's too old. But you could say we now live in a time where it doesn't matter. Where you flip the script. It's not old men with young women. It's slightly older women with younger men. But she's such a brilliant actress and absolutely stunning to look at that it doesn't. That is such an irrelevant complaint or point. Just a thought. Fantastic. Well, that sounds like a lot of people will be having a pretty spectacular weekend watching Wuthering Heights. No, thank you very much, Linda. That was
thank you.
2 excellent reviews this week, as always, of course.
Meet me in the foyer.
Right, so it's now time for another of Jawa's classic movie moments. And this week, I take a look at a film celebrating its 35th anniversary. For the second week, I'm inviting you to dinner, but this time it's with an old friend. He's a doctor, and he has a very particular set of tastes. So I'll be serving liver with fava beans and a nice Chianti. Although if you prefer, you can have the lamb. The Silence of the Lambs.
You spook easily, Starling?
Not yet, sir.
He's past the others. The last cell. I'll be watching. You'll do fine.
A killer is on the loose.
Keeps them alive for 3 days. Then he shoots them, skins them, and dumps them.
A rookie FBI agent is on his trail.
He's got real physical strength, cautious, precise, and he's never impulsive. He'll never stop.
But in order to track him down, she'll have to match wits.
I'll help you catch him, Clary.
Believe me, you don't want Hannibal Lecter inside your head.
With the darkest of all minds.
Just do your job, but never forget what he is.
Oh, he's a monster. Pure psychopath. So rare to capture one alive.
So close to the way you're gonna catch him, do you realize that? Oh, Clarice, your problem is you need to get more fun out of life.
You told me you don't spook easily.
You call this easy, sir?
Lecter's missing hand arm.
Man's a raving maniac. Who knows what he'll do?
Thank you, Clary. Thank you.
Wow. How long? How old did you say it was?
35
Oh
years
my
now.
God.
Yeah, it's stunning, isn't it?
Shocking.
And I think, I mean, this is a film I saw. I've mentioned this before, when I think I was doing my Terminator review. I saw this pretty much when it came out. So I was only like 11 years old. I very much should not have been seeing this film, and it caused me nightmares for weeks. Um, but I still love it. I'm just drawn to it like a, I don't know, like a bee to sugar. It's just, so yeah, we're talking about Silence of the Lambs. It's a 1991 American psychological horror thriller directed by Jonathan Demme, written by Ted Talley, adapted from Thomas Harris's 1988 novel. It stars Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling, a young FBI trainee who is hunting a serial killer known as Buffalo Bill, played by Ted Levine, who skins his female victims. To catch him, she seeks the advice of the imprisoned Hannibal Lecter, played by Anthony Hopkins, a brilliant psychiatrist and cannibalistic serial murderer. So as I say, this actually came out Valentine's Day, 1991. What a perfect film to take your date to. And it ended up grossing 272.7 million worldwide on a 19 million budget. It became the fifth highest grossing film of the year. It premiered at the 41st Berlin International Film Festival, where Demme won the Silver Bear for Best Director. And at the 64th Academy Awards, it became the third and most recent film to win the Big Five categories: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay. And it remains the only horror film to have won Best Picture. It launched a franchise with the sequel Hannibal in 2001, the prequels Red Dragon in 2002, and Hannibal Rising in 2007, plus 2 television adaptations. I mean, it's such an incredible film. As I say, it was one of those summers where you go around your mate's house and you spend like all week there just partying and watching films and stuff. I mean, partying in the child sense. So you're talking about eating pizza and having fights. But and it was in a series of films I watched that, again, as I say, I was far too young for, but it was spellbinding. You know, it's like my first introduction really to grown-up cinema, I think. And just an absolutely staggering work. As I say, it stars Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling, Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, Scott Glenn as Jack Crawford, Ted Levine as Buffalo Bill or James Gum. Ted Levine, who years later would turn up as the chief of police in the TV series Monk, and I couldn't believe it was the same guy. It was a staggering performance. And he's also in Shutter Island as well. Anthony Held as Dr. Frederick Chilton, Brooke Smith as Catherine Martin, Diane Baker as US Senator Ruth Martin, Roger Corman, the director, as FBI Director Hayden Burke, Chris Isaac, the singer, as a SWAT commander, and George A. Romero, the horror director, as a jailer. So it's quite a eclectic cast, but it really works. It really does. As I say, it's based on the Thomas Harris novel of the same name. One of those books, again, I found in the school library on a rainy day and started reading and was just absolutely sort of hooked by. And Red Dragon as well is another fabulous book. It was it's the second film based on the Hannibal Lecter character being made, because of course in '86 Michael Mann had made Manhunter, which many people think is an equal film. I don't quite like that one as much. It's very stylized. It's sort of like Miami Vice does serial killer, but you know, it is an excellent film. And this was originally going to be made by Gene Hackman. He had bought the rights to it, and he was going to direct and star in it, either as Lecter or Jack Crawford. But in the long sort of gestation process, it eventually didn't work out, and he dropped out. And actually, interestingly, Dino De Laurentiis owned the rights to the Lecter character somehow, just the Lecter character. And so when they were going to make it, they had to go to him and ask if they could use it. But because Manhunter hadn't been a big success, he gave them the rights to it for free. Yeah, so Jodie Foster had always been interested in playing Clarice Starling. And although she had just won the Academy Award for her role in The Accused, apparently Demme wasn't that interested in casting her, and he wanted to use Michelle Pfeiffer, who had just worked with on in the film Married to the Mob, which I oh, I can't stand that film. Anyway, but Pfeiffer turned it down, saying she was nervous about the subject matter. So then, weirdly, this is really out there casting, in my opinion. He then tried to cast Meg Ryan in the role, but she turned it down as well, saying it was too gruesome. Laura Dern was considered, but the studio didn't think she was bankable, so she was cast aside as well. And eventually they settled on Foster after auditioning Molly Ringwald, but deciding she was too young. And I mean, now you watch the film and you just can't think of anyone else in the role. Foster she's one of the greatest actresses of all time. I absolutely adore Foster, and she's so good in this. And that's kind of proven really by when they did the sequel, and she didn't return. Her role was played by Julianne Moore, and Julianne Moore's a great actress, but I don't think she comes close to Jodie Foster in this particular role, at least. So yeah, so she eventually got the role, and then when it came to play casting Lecter, they originally approached Sean Connery, which would have been fantastically interesting to see how Connery would have played the role. But they eventually cast Hopkins based on his performance in The Elephant Man, which again, he's absolutely brilliant. And Hopkins said at the time it was the best script he had ever read, and just had to take the part. They had also considered, as I think they always do, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, Jeremy Irons, Derek Jacobi would have been a fantastically interesting bit of casting, and Daniel Day-Lewis, who would have been very young at the time. And Forrest Whitaker said he was also auditioned for the role. And I was actually watching a documentary about this film this week, and Hopkins said that he based his portrayal, partially at least, on Al, the computer from 2001: A Space Odyssey, and you can so see that in his delivery, and also slightly on Truman Capote. And yeah, there are other influences that people have sort of attributed to it, but he says, they're not correct. It's Hal and it's Truman Capote, and his performance is just so good. It's such a sort of step change in the way serial killers were portrayed. He's still, and he's quiet, and he's sinister, and he doesn't try too hard. And there are lovely little touches, like he barely blinks whenever he's in shot, and I love the way his accent sort of accentuates at certain moments. He becomes a bit more southern, and just yeah, a wonderful performance. Although weirdly, rewatching it this week, I couldn't help but think that Anthony Held as Frederick Chilton, Dr. Frederick Chilton, he might actually be the most repugnant character in the film. He is such a horrible character. He
Even
meets
more than Buffalo Bill.
even more like he meets Foster because he's running the hospital, the facility that Lecter's imprisoned in, and she goes to meet him, and she's just a trainee FBI agent, and he's just leching on her and being creepy and disgusting, and then he spends the rest of the film just self-aggrandizing that he's the one who's caught Lecter, or he's the one who understands Lecter, and he's absolutely vile. A brilliant performance by Anthony Held, it has to be said. So yeah, filming took place in 1989 through to early 1990, primarily in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with some scenes in Northwest Virginia, and unusually got huge collaboration from the FBI, who allowed scenes to be filmed at the FBI Academy in Quantico, where the film opens and returns a couple of times. It opens with this great sequence of Foster running an assault course in the woods, and it's damp and it's horrible and it's misty, and she's like slogging her guts out over this incredible assault course. And at the start, you see this sign that says hurt, agony, pain, love it, pride, which kind of sums up sort of her mentality, that she's just going to push herself all the way through whatever she comes up against, and she does throughout the film. She's an incredible character. And there's a fantastic shot where she gets called off the assault course to go and see her boss, who's going to assign her this case. And she steps into an elevator, and you've just got tiny little Jodie Foster stood in this elevator full of sort of 8 blokes who are all over a foot taller than her. And you can just, and it just so brilliantly sets up the fact that she's this woman in a totally macho world. All of her colleagues are male apart from her roommate. The men she's investigating are all male. Her boss is male. The doctor she has to suffer the advances of is male. It's such a brilliant setup, and the whole film is so brilliantly made, so just well structured, and a lot of it's the camera work. Um, Demme uses a lot of close-ups, and what he does is as people talk, he sort of slowly creeps in and in and in and in. So you don't even notice it until all of a sudden, like you're face to face with Lecter, right in your face. He's not blinking. He's looking terrifying. And he does things like point of view shots. So when people talk to Starling, they're talking directly into the camera. But when she talks, she's looking off camera. So it's all her point of view. And then the film concludes with uh, um, I think must be one of the first ever night vision scenes in a film, which is one of the most sort of absolutely heart-stopping moments I've ever seen in a film, where it's so tense. It's all on night vision camera. She's stumbling around in the dark. Again, it's POV. Absolutely terrifying. It's so well done. It's got great music, which just sort of supports the film, from Howard Shore. Starts out with sort of a very beautiful theme and then becomes more and more sinister as the film goes on. And as I say, it was a huge success. It won the big 5 awards at the Oscars. It was nominated for the same awards at the BAFTAs, but only picked up the two acting awards. It's got a 95% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Roger Ebert gave it a massive rating, saying it was, Lecter's one of the great villains of all time. It's a recognized masterpiece alongside classics like Nosferatu, Psycho, and Halloween. Although his partner Siskel didn't rate it for some reason, and he said that Foster's character is appealing but is dwarfed by the monsters she's after, and I'd rather see her work on another case. Yeah, one right, one wrong, in my opinion there. It did get some controversy because of its sort of perceived sexuality and sexual politics. Some have accused it of being homophobic, although that's an assumption on the audience's part that Buffalo Bill is gay, which is never disclosed that he is. And others call it transphobic, because Bill wants to dress as a woman. But the problem I find with that argument is the suggestion that no transsexual person could be a villain. So you could apply that to any character and say, oh, well, that's a negative against women, that's a negative against men, that's a negative against dogs, cats, whatever. If you want a sort of open world of equality and understanding, then all characters could be villains and all characters could be heroes. So I don't really buy that argument at all.
Yeah.
And Bill is one of the great villains. He is terrifying, and yeah. So I say, it spawned a franchise in the sequel Hannibal, which was directed by Ridley Scott, and it's okay. It's better than Red Dragon, I think, though, and it's certainly better than Hannibal Rising, which is absolute straight to DVD nonsense. And it's also spawned the series starring. No, I'm not going to say that because I can't remember his name either.
Mads Nicholson.
That's right, Mads Nicholson. Yeah.
Nicholson.
Mads Mikkelsen, which I haven't watched, I have to admit.
Very
But it was
good.
a huge success. Oh, okay, there's another recommend there. And yeah, as I say, it's terrifying. It's brilliant. Foster, as always, is superb. Hopkins, absolutely top of his game. I'm thinking now, and I'm just going to quickly Google this. Is it his only Oscar? Um, it shouldn't be, but I think it might be.
Mm,
Uh,
no, I think he won one for The Father.
did he?
I think
Ah,
so. Let me just double check. I'm almost 100% sure that he did.
two Academy Awards. Two
Yeah.
Academy Awards. But what for?
One is
Um,
for The Father, I'm pretty
oh
sure.
yeah, The Father. Okay, that's slightly surprising. Because I mean,
Well,
the stuff he's done, like Remains of the Day and
yeah.
Shadowlands as well. But yeah, fantastic.
He's very good in The Father, to be fair, and that's a really good movie anyway, so, you know.
That was another recommend. You're going to have a busy weekend catching up with all of these. So yeah, as I say, I think the film had a huge influence on cinema generally. I kind of feel like it had a huge influence on creating the X-Files, which might seem like a
Oh,
bit of a
yeah.
leap, but
No, it's true.
yeah, that sort
Yeah.
of procedural FBI
Mhm.
thing, especially with a female lead, a sort of a powerful female lead.
In like a proper sort of, suit, like
Yes.
a proper sort of like work suit, and someone who means bit business,
Yeah, yeah. So Starling's sort of like the proto Scully in a way,
Yeah.
and she's brilliantly named Starling because you kind of take her as this sort of fragile bird at the start, and then she proves that she's far more than that. Um, and one little fact before I go that I love was that apparently the moment when Lecter mocks Starling's southern accent, um, he sort of calls her a rube in cheap shoes. Apparently, that was an improv by Hopkins. So the
Oh,
moment of shock on Foster's face is genuine, and she sort of managed to stay in the scene. But she thanked him afterwards for doing it, for sort of drawing that real emotion out of her. And my favorite bit is when she meets Lecter for the last time, when he's in his cage in the middle of the hall when he's being imprisoned. And as I said, I was talking earlier about the camera work, it's so good because they're talking through bars, but the camera creeps in, and eventually you get so close, the bars have disappeared, and all of a sudden you're in the cage with Lecter. It's just brilliant. So if you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs and you're prepared for a sort of hair-raising evening, I would recommend it highly. It's a wonderful film, absolutely brilliant, and thoroughly deserved all the Oscars and accolades it gets.
fabulous. Really
Mhm.
good. Well done. Really good review.
Thank you.
I I don't think I ever watched it again after my first watch.
Really?
Maybe I've seen it twice, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really surprises me because I think I've
Because
seen it
it
maybe
was
half a dozen times now.
Yeah, I think I've seen it twice because I watched it once because it was on TV and we decided to watch it, and I really like the movie. I just
Mm.
didn't think I wanted to watch it because I found it really creepy.
Oh
You
God,
know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
very creepy. So
absolutely. Definitely the best of the series, I would say as well.
I'm always more creeped out by things that could actually happen in real life than in like
Yes.
horror movies. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
find horror movies really funny. I like proper horror, like body horror
Yeah.
and fantasy horror. I find them really funny because I can feel comfortable that it's not gonna happen. When it comes to like things like thrillers like Silence of the Lambs,
Mm.
they terrify me
Yeah.
because I
Interestingly,
think, yeah,
I think that's exactly the reason why I find horror boring because
I
it's just silly. Whereas this, for the same reason, because it's so potentially real,
know.
I just find it fascinating. But you know, each to their own. It's all takes all types, as they say. Um, but sadly, that's the end of this affair for now. As another episode of Meet Me in the Foyer concludes, good manners dictate that I thank you for your kind attendance, and it is with great sincerity that I say how we've enjoyed your company and would be delighted to host you once again. Shall we say in 7 days? I'll send out formal invitations. Let us also give thanks to Linda for her most educational elucidations on the theory of film. Thank you very much, Linda. Wonderful as always.
You're very
Um,
welcome.
So until we meet again, my most humble salutations and felicitations, and let us count the minutes until we meet again to share our love of film with great punctuality and perspicacity.
Adios. See you soon.
Subscribe now to help fans supporting food banks. Go to patreon.com/rockandrollfootball and look for your favourite club subscription pages and sign up with your favourite presenter. Rock and Roll Football. No adverts, no VAR, no limits.
Meet me in the foyer.